I'm Fede, I'm a native user of Voceo, a professional Spanish teacher, and I couldn't find a simple and concise explanation about this topic. So if you're a Spanish student or a Spanish teacher, or you just want to understand these quickly, watch this video until the end. You may already know that voceo is the use of the pronoun vos instead of tú or ti. The meaning is the same, but voceo has its own conjugation. Anyway, learning voceo is much easier than learning tuteo. The choice between vos and tú in native speakers depends mainly on their region. If I ask you in which of these countries you can find voceo, what would you say? Argentina, Uruguay, Colombia, Costa Rica, Paraguay? The answer is in all of them. Of course, in some countries it's limited to a certain region, in some regions it coexists with tú, and in some regions they even use the pronoun vos with the conjugation for tú or vice versa. We are learning now voceo rioplatense argentino. Don't worry, it's almost the same in other varieties, but here we use the pronoun and its conjugation in any situation. It doesn't matter the social class or if it's written or oral language, we never use tú. And of course, it's the variety I speak as a native. Vamos a empezar. First thing you need to know is that the only conjugations that are different in voceo and tuteo are the imperative and the present tense. So we are going to focus on this. How to form the imperative? Take the verb in infinitive, remove the final R, stress at the end. That's all. Estudiar, estudiá. Aprender, aprendé. Escribir, escribí. Estudia español argentino. Aprende más rápido. Escribí un comentario en este video. Forget about irregularities. Those are for people who uses tú. So with vos, hacer, hace. Poner, pone. Tener, tené. Venir, vení. Ser, sé. Estar, está. Forget about irregularities. Well, actually, we do have one verb that doesn't follow this general rule. Of course, I'm talking about the naughty verb ir. It's the most irregular verb in the Milky Way, and it uses the imperative form of andar. Anda. So if I want you to go to buy something, I would say anda a comprar. And in the pronominal version, irse, andate. Andate de este lugar. There aren't other irregularities. And I heard that in the province of Córdoba in Argentina, even ir could be regular. So, ir without R, I. Si te querí, ite. Goleado. Is there any viewer from Córdoba? Let me know in the comments if this is true. Now I'm going to teach you the present tense in less than a second. Don't you believe me? Less than a second, I promise. Take the time. Ready? Add S. That's all. Less than a second, I told you. You already know how to form the imperative. Add S at the end and you have the present tense. As simple as that. Estudiá, estudiás. Aprendé, aprendés. Escribí, escribís. Hacé, haces. Poné, ponés. Tené, tenés. Vení, venís. Ya, sí. Vos tenés 30 años. Parecés de menos. ¿Querés venir a mi casa? ¿Vos dónde vivís? ¿De qué trabajás vos? But what about verbos irregulares, verbos de la primera, segunda y tercera conjugación, con diptongo, con cambio vocálico, el vosotros de España y todo eso? We don't need those things here. Why do they make it so complicated? The only irregularity here is ser. That becomes sos. ¿Vos sos argentino o sos uruguayo? Sos muy amable, gracias. ¿Vos sos loco? And of course, ir. That becomes vas. Vas muy bien. ¿Vas a la fiesta el sábado? ¿Vos vas a suscribirte a este canal? So to form the imperative take the verb in infinitive, remove the final R, and stress at the end. And if you want the present tense, add S at the end. Irregularities are ir and ser. Oh, but I mentioned that vos can also replace ti. Yes, lo daría todo por ti, lo daría todo por vos. Ese regalo es para ti, este regalo es para vos. Quiero salir contigo, quiero salir con vos. But, Fede, will people who use tú understand me if I use vos in their country? That's a good question. Yes, they will. If you prefer teachers that make things unnecessarily long and complicated, do not subscribe. Do not hit the bell, do not like, do not share, do not buy me a coffee, and do not leave me a single comment, do you hear me? Ciao.